A familiar face returned to Bachelor in Paradise last night and might have set herself up for failure by saying that she promised to only cry 3 times total this season. Leslie from 106.3 The Groove, I think maybe that 3's already up.
Oh, I lost count of how many times Ashley cried on the show last night. From the second she walked on, I think the first 5 minutes, she started to bawl.
And she's kind of known for that.
Yeah, she is. And a lot of people call her the Kardashian, like the other sister of the Kardashians, which I think is hilarious. She has been on, I felt like she's been, not that I've seen a lot of seasons, but I feel like she's been on for a long time.
Yeah.
But I know the big thing last season was her connection with Jared. I mean, obsessed with him. And he kind of liked her, and I guess they've had a friendship and stuff, but thinks she's head over heels in love with this guy.
Yeah.
But I thought that was ended, you know, and right when Kayla comes on,
Yep.
him and her have hit it off. He talks to Emily and says, look, I want to move on with Kayla. Who walks in? Ashley. And she is stunned that he actually is dating hello, it's Bachelor in Paradise. What do you think, he's going to wait for you?
Exactly. And can I tell you, when she's talking about, I hung out with Kayla a little bit, and I told her, you know, I still have it for Jared. I'm like, do all these people kind of hang out with each other outside the seasons?
It sounds like it. Yeah, that they must do different events throughout the year or something, because they're all friends. And she was very upset because Kayla said she was not going to go on the show. She was not interested, that Jared was not her type.
Yeah.
And so obviously when she saw her, she was really upset. And so, but I will say she talked to Kayla because they were friends, and she apologized and said, look, I realized 2 days ago that I was going to come on the show.
Yeah.
And she goes, but what about Jared wasn't your type? And she said, I talked to him.
I thought that was the simplest answer she could have given.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, then Ashley was like, I'm just going to go home in tears again. This is now like the 3rd or 4th time she's cried, by the way. And this is only the first half of the show, and she's already crying that many times. And Jared was like, seriously, do not go home. Yeah. She has a date card. Of course, Jared's not going to go.
Right.
I will say, though, with Jared, I feel like he's kind of a wuss. He does not tell her, look, this is never going to happen. You never hear him say anything like that.
Can I tell you, my husband pointed that out right away.
Yes.
He said he's leaving a little bit of crack open in the door.
Yeah, so of course, of course she's going to hope. You give her any glimmer of hope, she's going to jump on it.
Oh, yeah. But she does go on a date. I give her that.
Yes, with Daniel.
Yes.
And he's starting to grow on me.
Me too.
Yes, I think he's much smarter than I realized that I gave him credit for. And I think he's just really dry, sarcastic humor, which I love. And I'm catching on to that now. And so he took her on the date, knows that he was basically sloppy seconds.
Right.
But he still had a great time, got her to laugh. And he's not too bad to look at, I got to say. I'm just seeing the picture going, wow, woo.
Yeah, and if you don't remember Ashley, what she was kind of known throughout all these seasons is that she was the virgin.
Yes.
She says that she's
very
a virgin.
Proud of that.
Yes, and it was funny because they kind of played up on that on their date.
Yes, and Daniel, of course, was like, well, are you interested? Like, basically, he wants to help her out in that.
Help you out there.
Even though she was like, well, I want to be in love.
Right.
And I love that she says that. I love Daniel, though, would not give up. And then this tribal group comes in. It does this fun dance, and they're going to sacrifice the virgin. They literally pick her up out of her chair, Ashley, and they disappear with her. And I love Daniel's response was to finish his dinner.
Yeah. He's like, maybe I'll eat what's on her plate. Maybe he'll go there.
Right.
So I give it to her. She went on a date, but she wasn't the only person that showed up last night.
No, Jen, who I sort of remember from Ben's season, showed up last night, and Nick was very excited. You know, he's been kind of about stuff because he hasn't met anyone, and he can't get away from kissy faces, Josh and Ashley, with the moaning.
Yeah.
And so he got perked up. A lot of people did. And she talked to him. They went on a date. And it was hilarious because they were on the beach and there were crabs, I'm not kidding, everywhere.
Yeah.
It was freaky. I would have ran out of there. There's that many crabs crawling around. But they hit it off. They did some kissing. So it looks like that could be a couple going forward, which is great. And then another odd couple, you know, Evan went to the hospital because he's taking medication for his ankles. And he basically had Carly go with him, basically guilted her into going with him. And she's like starting to go, wow, maybe I kind of like him. Like, she's like, I mean, I'm looking for a good guy, and he really is a good guy. Yeah. So I think she's starting to do a 180, and I'm like, wow.
I don't know what to think about that.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I'm not putting any money on them yet.
No. No.
Not.
Because I think the first time another guy comes on that catches her attention, she'll forget about Evan.
So this is who's got the power this upcoming episode?
The men have the power.
The men have the power. Okay.
Yes.
So men have the power, and the previews of the upcoming, it looks like there's already trouble in paradise for Kayla and Jared.
Yes, it sounds like there's some new people. I don't know if they're from past seasons or not, but one in particular seems to catch her attention.
Yep.
And so she gets, her feelings are kind of like, not sure, confusing. And
Yep.
poor Jared, I feel like he's been through a lot. And then
Yeah.
he finally really gets excited about someone. And then she's like, I'm not quite sure yet, as they just start. Eeh.
Yeah, starting, to get to know each other and whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think it's really interesting when the power shifts from the guys to the girls, how each acts. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If they have the power, they know they're not going home, so they kind of test out the waters.
Yes, and it looks like some of the couples that seem really solid are not going to be so solid coming up. So I'm curious. They're very good at editing, so you can't really tell who it is.
Well, look, I know Lace and Grant and Smoochy Faces over there, they've kind of been quiet the last episode or two because they haven't really had a storyline. They're happy and everything's okay.
Exactly.
Could it be changing?
I know.
Oh, I can't wait to see
drama.
the next episode. Leslie, thank you for
You're
coming.
welcome.
I'm going to read up on your blog so we can
Yes.
be up on everything. You can watch new episodes of Bachelor in Paradise on Mondays and Tuesdays here on KGUN-9. You can read that Bachelor in Paradise blog on 1063thegroove.com.